The cheating husband. Nowadays, cheating seems to be the standard. Cheating is just saying, "You're not allowed to know that I put my happiness and pleasure over your pain and suffering." Have you ever been the victim of cheating or been the cheater? This story might change your perspective on cheating. When he got home that evening as his wife was cooking in the kitchen,
I've got something to tell you.
she took a seat and remained silent. He noticed the sadness and hurt in her eyes. He couldn't figure out how to open his mouth. But he had to express his thoughts to her.
I want a divorce.
She didn't seem to be surprised or mad by his words. Instead, she asked him softly.
Why?
He avoided her question and looked away. This just made her feel worse.
You don't have an answer to that question?
He didn't know how to answer the question since she had lost his heart to Monica. He thought there was no longer any love, only pity. He drafted a divorce agreement while feeling intense shame.
Do you offer me this? Our home, our car, and a 30% share in your business? All of these are yours to keep.
The woman who had spent 10 years of her life with him had become a stranger. He regretted that she had wasted her time, but he could not take back what he had said, for he loved Monica so dearly. He had been thinking about getting a divorce for weeks, and it seemed firmer and more certain now. He returned home extremely late the following day and found her at the table writing something. He went straight to sleep and fell asleep very fast because he was tired after a joyful day with Monica. She gave her divorce terms when he awoke.
I don't want anything from you, but I do require a month's notice before the divorce. I want us to lead as normal a life as we can during that 1 month. I'm doing this because I don't want our son's examinations to be disrupted by our broken marriage.
He could agree to this.
I also want you to think back to the way you carried me into the bridal suite on our wedding day. I need you to carry me from our bedroom to the front door every morning for the next month.
He believed his wife was losing her mind. He agreed to her strange request simply to make their final days together tolerable. He told Monica about his wife's divorce conditions. She laughed loudly and thought it was absurd.
She must deal with the divorce no matter what tricks she applies.
So, when he carried her out on the first day, they both appeared clumsy. Their son clapped behind them.
Daddy is holding Mommy in his arms.
The words being said by his son left him feeling hurt. He carried her almost 30 feet from the bedroom to the sitting room, then to the door. She closed her eyes and said softly,
Don't tell our son about the divorce.
He nodded, feeling somewhat upset. Outside the door, he set her down. She went to wait for the bus to work. He took his own car to work. They felt more at ease the second day. She leaned on his chest. He could smell the fragrance of her blouse. He realized that he hadn't looked at this woman carefully for a long time. He realized she was not young anymore. Her face had small lines, and her hair was beginning to gray. She had experienced the effects of their marriage. For a while he wondered what he had done to her. On the fourth day, he felt a sense of intimacy returning when he lifted her. It was she who had dedicated the previous 10 years of her life to him. He saw that their sense of intimacy was returning on the 5th and 6th day. He didn't tell Monica about this. As the month passed, carrying her got easier. Maybe the daily exercise made him stronger. One morning, she was deciding what to dress. She put on a lot of dresses but was unable to find one that fit.
All my dresses have grown bigger.
He then realized that the reason he could carry her more easily was because she had become so skinny. He was suddenly aware of how deeply she had buried her hurt and bitterness. He touched her head unintentionally with his hand. Then their kid entered the room.
Dad, it's time to carry Mom out.
To the son, seeing his father carrying his mother out had become an essential part of his life. The wife gestured to her son to come closer and hugged him tightly. Fearing that he would change his mind at the last minute, the husband turned his face away. While carrying her in his arms, he then left the bedroom, passed through the living room, and entered the hallway. Her hand surrounded his neck softly and naturally. It was exactly like their wedding day as he held her body tightly. But her much lighter weight made him sad. He was barely able to walk on the final day as he held her in his arms. Their son had gone to school. He held her tightly and said,
I hadn't noticed that our life lacked intimacy.
He drove to the office, jumped out of the car swiftly without locking the door. He was afraid any delay would make him change his mind. He walked upstairs. Monica opened the door.
Sorry, Monica, I do not want the divorce anymore.
Do you have a fever?
Monica, I'm sorry. I won't divorce. My marriage life was probably boring because she and I didn't value the little things in life, not because we didn't love each other anymore. Now I realize that since I carried her into my home on our wedding day, I am supposed to hold her until death do us apart.
Monica seemed to suddenly wake up. She gave him a loud slap and then slammed the door and burst into tears. He went downstairs and got in his car. He placed a flower order for his wife at the florist on the way. He was asked what to put on the card by the saleslady. He smiled and wrote, I'll carry you out every morning until death do us apart. That evening he arrived home, flowers in his hands, a smile on his face. He ran upstairs, only to find his wife in the bed, dead. His wife had been fighting cancer for months and he was too busy with Monica to even notice. Knowing that she would soon pass away, she wanted to protect their kid from any bad feelings in case they decided to divorce. At least, in the eyes of their son, he's a loving husband. People are born with egoism. Most of the time we choose ourselves above others, even in the most intimate relationships. Unfortunately, sometimes a tragedy needs to happen in our life to open our eyes and to make us recognize our mistake. And sometimes the culprit is more hurt than the victim. Having a deep and meaningful relationship can only be achieved by two matured and hardworking people, who accept each other for who they are, and prepare to fight for any obstacles in their way. Hopefully this story was helpful. Thanks for watching.